Hi everyone and welcome to today's morning report with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Hantech Markets for Thursday the 15th of May. Investors have had a fairly cautious open, certainly in the FX markets, into today's trading. That's come on the back of a little bit of concern over the continued decline in bond yields in the States. That suggests perhaps a little bit of cautiousness over the potential for future growth in the States, and that has put a little bit of pressure on the equity markets, pulling Wall Street down from their highs, and that sort of filtered through into Asian markets overnight. Asian markets were also, certainly the Nikkei, pulled lower by the strengthening of the yen as well. But today, what we've actually seen in the European trading hours is FTSE and DAX both breaking through huge resistance levels. 14-year high now on the FTSE above 6,880, and an all-time high achieved this morning early on for the DAX above 9,800. However, if you look at the Forex markets, they're a little bit more dollar strength than certainly versus the euro and also sterling today, and also dollar yen has reacted higher as well. So a nice bounce for the dollar that we're seeing early on today, and that's being coming up ahead of the key inflation data that we're seeing this afternoon for the States. But also before that, we've also got the Eurozone inflation data as well. But early this morning, we've had the Eurozone growth figures come out for for Germany and France. Germany beat expectations actually 0.8% on the month. On the quarter versus 0.7% expected. France, though, was flat. Absolutely no growth there, 0.0% versus an expectation of 0.1%. Italy's due to come out in a matter of minutes today. So these numbers are backward looking. They are GDP, which is a backward looking indicator. However, they are still important, and the market will be moving on that. As I said earlier, you've had this morning or yesterday a slight pull back in risk sentiment, and that was reflected by a slight uptick in the VIX index that we saw yesterday. But we're still trading at very low levels on the VIX. 12 is a historically low basis on the VIX volatility. These over the past few years, to keep measures of 12 have been almost extreme levels there. So just keep that in mind in terms of the equity markets being at all-time highs as well on the S&P and the Dow. So that could be a factor at play going forward. Dollar index, what we have had is, as I said, a slight dollar strengthening. It continues to pull away from that key level of 79.1, and we're now pulling up towards possibly a test of that April high. So we're currently at a 1 month high on the dollar index, and looking like it's going to be moving forward towards a test of that 80.5 April high that we'd seen there. The data that we've got coming out today, 10 o'clock this morning, we've got the inflation data for the Eurozone CPI, the second reading for the April data. 0.7% was the flash data. That's expected to maintain at 0.7%, up from the 0.5% in March, and that's at 10 o'clock today. That could certainly have a big impact on the euro. If that comes in lower, then you could well see a big decline on the euro today, as investors continue to play around with the fact that the ECB is likely to now cut rates in its next June meeting. Also this afternoon, we've got the US CPI, which is again forecast to come in the same as reading as last time. 1.7% is the expectation there for the April data this afternoon. So again, that could have an impact for the dollar if that is higher than 1.7%. Then you could see the dollar starting to or continuing to pull higher on the dollar index. So just watch out for that at 1:30 today. Okay, so my chart of the day is Euro Yen, and Euro Yen, as I said, the euro has weakened significantly over the past few days. This is Euro Yen over a longer term 1 year chart. Look at this big uptrend that had been in place for the past year. That has now been broken. So that is now turning the outlook far more yen positive, and certainly with this the expectation that the ECB is likely to move now towards easing. No real move yet on the from the Bank of Japan, certainly with the growth data that we've had out today. GDP data for Japan came in higher than expected. No immediate pressure on the Bank of Japan to move on monetary policy. So the the fact that the ECB is moving or seemingly going to move, and the Bank of Japan isn't necessarily going to move, is certainly putting pressure on euro yen lower. We've now broken below that support at 139.91, which you could argue completes some sort of a top pattern, which would suggest you're probably going to be coming back not far off this a test of this key 136.20 low of February. That is sort of more of a near to medium term outlook, but near term I think we're still we've now also broken below this 144-day moving average, which if I zoom out here you'll notice has been used on several occasions. One in February, in November, in August, and going back all the way, it still was used in November of 2012. So October 2012 was the last time we were trading below this moving average. So this is now looking like a key move to the downside, and certainly it looks like we're going to be pressurising this 138.75 low from March. On an intraday basis, we'll see that even more, and also see that we had an old support here at 141, got broken, and was also the rally from 2 days ago failed to make above that 141 resistance. So we've now broken under the $140 mark there. So the 140 yen mark there is the key breakdown support, you'd say now. And again, you'd probably be looking at 140 as a basis of resistance for any rallies that we might see. We've got negative configuration in all these momentum indicators, and actually in the last few minutes we seem to be moving back lower again. So downside pressure is increasing on this euro yen chart as the euro continues to lose strength. All moving averages are all falling in bearish configurations, so this is showing downside pressure. That 138.75 mark is going to come under pressure, it would appear, in the coming hours. So just keep that in mind. The CPI inflation number could come out and have a bit of a surprise, so that could create some volatility in this chart for the euro. However, the technicals are certainly pointing to lower euro yen today as we go. So selling into strength would be the idea here. The reaction high today at the moment is 139.86, and that's the high that we've hit today. So I wish you good luck in your trading on euro yen today, and I will speak to you later. Thank you.